All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host for this morning's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And we're definitely happy and grateful for each and every one of you being here with us this morning as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we can take advantage of in this Forex market. So without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage, which we always do a great job of doing, right? If you can hear me loud and clear right now, Joy, drop me a 1 in the chat. Let me know that I'm good on the technical end, and we can get this morning session started. All right. So All right, so we are ready as always to start with a strong foundation to take massive action. Let's make sure that we are accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing for any outcome. Let's make sure that we center ourselves in body, mind, and spirit, assuring a balanced approach to trading. Let's trust in our education, strategy, trading skills, and intuition. And let's always imagine our trades successfully materializing and that we are obeying our trading strategy and avoiding decisions based on greed and fear, and that we are never looking back or stopping once our trades have commenced. So, with that being said, let's jump out on the charts, go over to the fundamentals and see what's going on. Joy, how you doing this morning?
I'm good.
All ready to go. So, let's move over to front page trading economics. We see that inflation falls in France and Spain, right? Two players in the Eurozone. So that is good news. We're continuing to see that happen globally. So things are seems to be headed in the right direction. Um, so we've got the US PCE index coming up, so we can see that personal consumption expenditure price index in the US likely rose 0.1% month over month in August 2024, following an increase of 0.2% in July. The core index, which excludes food and energy, is set to rise 0.2%, the same as each of the previous 2 months. Meanwhile, the PCE rate is seen slowing to 2.3%, which would be the lowest since February 2021 from 2.5% in July. On the other hand, the annual core PCE inflation is projected to increase to 2.7%, the highest in 4 months, from 2.6. The Federal Reserve revises economic projections in September, lowering annual PCE and core PCE inflation estimates to 2.3 and 2.6 respectively, from 2.6 to 2.8% in June, right? So we know this is the Fed's preferred gauge for inflation because it excludes food and energy. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. Chinese stocks post best week since 2008, right? Because of the stimulus, right, which we talked about, and their new plans, right, to help boost their economy. So we see that right now, due to the optimism, it is working. So China stocks post the best week since 2008. That is huge, right? Moving on, I want to take a look at crude oil. Uh, WTI crude futures drops, right? We know we were looking at this yesterday and looking to see if it would close below a key level. Dropped towards $67 per barrel on Friday, declining for the third straight session as prospects of oversupply weighed on the market. Okay, so we'll take a look at that as well. Looking at the DXY, right? Just flat, right? Moving lower. Again, we were taking a look at this support level and it continues to move back towards that support. And we'll see, right? So the low right now that we're looking at is 100.16. And so we've started the day off bearish with the dollar. So if we come down to the 4 on the DXY, we can see, right, I'm just going to extend this out. Extend this down there. We'll call it the bottom of the range. and we continue to move lower. Okay, on the DXY. So not much doing there on the dollar. Forex factory today. We've got Canada for I mean not core, but GDP month over month. And of course, we've got the core PCE for the United States coming up at 8:30, right? That is a key report. Again, it is the Federal Reserve's preferred gauge, right, for inflation. So that's always important. So two important reports today coming out. One coming from Canada, the GDP, and the U.S. with the core PCE. That's very, very important. And then we do have the revised University of Michigan sentiment. We've got another Fed official speaking today. All right, but if there's any volatility, right, we're going to be looking at it around 8:30 this morning on the Friday. Okay, so that's that there in regards to the fundamentals. So fairly light day, but again, that PCE data is going to be really, really important. Let me make sure we've got everybody set up. Ryan, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, bro. I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Oh man, doing pretty good. It's Friday. What's going on the fundamental front? Anything new?
Oh, we got a new prime minister in Japan.
Mm,
Won the election.
hmm
Um, and the market's been kind of back and forth, but the new prime minister elect, he's in support of the Bank of Japan and their independence,
Okay.
but also in support of them gradually increasing rates, whereas his opponent was opposed to it. So we saw the market make a jump, with yen's rally because of that. Um, so the market took that rather well for the yen. So we'll see how how things go when the market opens, and then into the next couple weeks. Um, and then you had Tokyo CPI came in at 2%,
hmm hmm
which the BOJ was looking for. So all of that aligns with their case for the next interest rate in December.
Okay.
So yeah,
All right. So what do you think we're gonna do in December? You think they're gonna hold or they're gonna raise?
I think they're raised in December. I don't think they
Okay.
raised before then.
Okay. Okay. All right. I appreciate the update. So we'll see what happens with the yen, everybody. All right. New prime minister. Let's see what happens. See what happens. Right. Especially since you said right there that the prime minister is in alignment with them maintaining their independence. So we'll see what happens if anything, if there's any type of policy shifts. Appreciate it, man. All right, all right.
No doubt.
So this morning, so one thing I want to do, right, is I want to take a look at our indices, right, and then look at again, um, right, because definitely I want to look for uh continuation opportunities, right, on the Nikkei, right, 225. Right? We got a pullback that just happened. Like here is up, right? So I want to see, right? Once this settled, I want to look to buy that long, right? But see, we got a nice bearish candle there, so we'll see how deep that correction wants to go. But this, I'm definitely keeping an eye for an opportunity uh, to get back long. So let me go to the four here. Okay. So we've got a beautiful move off the 618 area after that daily support. We took a quick look at this one yesterday, but now we got this nice bearish candle. So want to wait for everything to align, but definitely keeping an eye on this for it to get uh, back long, right? So definitely keep an eye on the Nikkei. If you trade indices, right, this one would be a good one to trade. Looking for that good low price to settle in and to get back long. So it's Friday. Do we have, right? You can put it in the chat. Do we have any particular pairs that you all want to take a look at this morning? No? Okay. All right. So taking a look at
Looks like a
the
NZD Swiss.
NCD Swiss. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let's take a look at that. Uh, go. Joy, what we're thinking. What are you thinking on this one? We've got a daily stochastic, right? We've been bullish. We've got a daily stochastic that's overbought.
So yesterday I was looking, I was doing my journaling from trading economics, and I was looking at the commentary from NDX 50 or
Hmm.
the ND 50, and they were saying because they about to start, they're expecting rate cuts and everything that they're starting to set up for bullish. So I didn't get a chance to my 1 and 4 hours down, so I was so busy doing my charts, I didn't make it to NZD Swift last night.
Okay.
And
All
so I
right.
seen that this was forming on this chart. I'm sorry, that's my work alarm. Sorry. Um, or whether or not just to go ahead and let us do its thing, but it broke that previous resistance and see if it's ready for a bear or if it looked like I got one more push.
Okay. All right. So we know that we got another 25 basis point cut, right? Um, out of the Swiss National Bank, right? So this has been heading long. Okay. This one, pull this out. This is done. Right. So what I'm gonna look for, okay, we know that the Swiss National Bank has stepped in. I'm interested to see that, you know, how that boost coming out of China impacts this New Zealand dollar, right? We know that it can happen. So we know we got a lot of optimism around, the changes that they've made in China, right, to try to stimulate the economy. And we know that we see the markets rallying, right? So in China, we see that stocks post the best week since 2008. We know that New Zealand is a huge trade partner um, for China. So I'm interested to see, right? Barring any type of risk-off situation, which typically the Swiss franc will benefit from. I would love to see on this 4 hour, right? This price make a move back down, right? Because right now we've got a daily stochastic in the sell zone. So to see it correct, right? Right, make a move down, and then right to see if we can get a continuation. Right. Again, you know, um, paying attention to the fundamentals, right? So if we come in, we take a look at, let's look at New Zealand. Uh, Domestically repeat, the Kiwi faced downward pressure amid expectations that the Reserve Bank of New Zealand would cut rates in October, again in October, with markets pricing in a 67% probability, half point reduction. They call it a half point, right? So investors currently see 5.25% cash rate to fall to 2.83% by the end of 2025. On the economic data front, ANZ Roy Morgan survey show consumer confidence rose for the third straight month of September, hitting the highest level in 32 months, right? So we'll see as we're heading towards the end of September, right? Moving into October towards that rate cut. If anything happens that'll cause this probability to shift, right? Right now it's over 50% for a half point cut. We know the Swiss National Bank just cut by another quarter basis point. right? So we'll see, right? My wild card is everything that's going on in China, you know, cannot have a positive impact on this, right? But we will see, Joy. This that probability being over 67, being at 67% over 50% for the rate cut. We shall see, right? What happens there? We do have, right, this setting up on the daily for a correction, right? So if we're just going off of, right, our levels are swing highs and swing lows, you will have one, right? At the end of the day of this continues bearish. Right? And then so do we get a correction back down to let me see. All right, get a correction back down to 52.76, you know, and then we have to decide whether or not to trade that, right, to the downside. So we'll see. We'll see. That was a tricky one. That was a bit tricky. So we'll see how it plays out. If we look at it from a weekly perspective, right? It's definitely been moving bullish, right, off the support, right? So maybe a correction down and then a move back up. But you can see how, right, this is a lower a higher low, and then it pushed through the high uh, for this. So we'll see as we move into October as we head towards those rate cuts uh, to see what happens there. But it's definitely right now at this time, you know, I'm not looking to buy because it's setting up. It's looking like it's definitely setting up for the correction. Let me go down to the one.
I finally got my part. It was another point to it. They said it was a lot of the losses was weighed by industrial service, non-energy minerals, and electronical tech. So they had some
Okay,
there too.
got it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. So here's the 1 hour fib, right? We're not to that D extension yet, and we're pulling back. So we're correcting right now. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's been bullish. Okay? It's been bullish. That's the direction we've been trading it. We'll see how deep this correction wants to go. So we'll see. We shall see. All right. Anything else? No, I didn't see anything else come through the chat on this Friday. So we'll look at these NZD pairs and see what's shaking. Right. So we know, right? Because it's been a pretty good run. So things are looking at they're topping out, right? In that situation where it's just like, okay, things have run long, what's next? This out of here. Right, on these NZD pairs, that's a 382 bounce, but we're kind of stalling. We're overbought on the 4, right? Double top it lower on the NZD CAD. Right, here we are. Right, look how this whipped around on the 1, and now it's recovered. Let me get this candle overlay off. Right, so you can see that this Preston took out the A on the 1, right, and then it fully recovered. Right, so this crazy move there took back everything. Right, then again to the downside, and then did it quick. Right, did it really quick. So leave that right there for now. So nothing really doing on the NZD CAD. So these don't really look so far too attractive right now in regards to setups. They had been, right? They made some nice runs. And just keep in mind, we're at the end of the month now. Here's the NZD JPY. And we see that move down with the yen, right? So think about the Nikkei, how we saw uh, that correction on the Nikkei as well, right? That move. Okay. And a lot of that, right, is coming most likely from last night, coming from last night, the Tokyo CPI coming through. And so you see this downward move in this direction. And so can we get a low? We're above the cloud here on the 4. Hey, we've got our 50 crossing up through our 200. So, hey, is this going to be a new established low price opportunity to either add to your position if you're long as the JPY, right? Or to get an initial entry on that. Okay. So nice correction off of the data. Put our fib on a 1. Okay. So let's definitely keep an eye here. Okay, off this 1 hour look. Okay. Do we get a full recovery and a continuation after the reaction? Okay. After the reaction. Because we've stalled out right in our buy zone. It's a potential long play there. Okay. Potential long play, right? As long as it doesn't take out that A. So let's see if it wants to gain some more momentum. Not sure. Not sure on that, right? Wait for your confirmations, maybe. Let me see where we are. Cloud, right? Fundamental data. Right, when you see this type of price action, could make things kind of tricky. Okay? So, especially since we're overbought on a daily. Right? So maybe if we get back above the cloud, throw some positive momentum to the upside, maybe that's a continuation. All right, so that's the NZD JPY, NZD USD. Right. Making a nice run, right, against the dollar. We know the dollar has been bearish, it's kind of just bouncing around, right? I support the dollar, but it's been weak, right? And so we got a nice run going. We don't quite have a swing high yet here. We'll see what happens today with the PCE, right? At 8:30, but this has been a long play off the 382. So do we continue to this D extension? That needs to be. So we're holding, right? We found support. Let's see if that PCE data serves as a driver today for us, right? Get it going. We're gonna find out at 8:30. Right? This is gonna continue to push long to the extension. Right? So that's the New Zealand dollar pairs. Let me see. Aussie NZD. Trying to find a bias for it. No, that still leaning in favor of the Aussie on this one. We'll see. Right, we'll see. We're moving down, right? Our stochastic is moving down. Not quite back in the buy zone yet, but we haven't gotten a major, bearish move, Joy, right? With that moving down. So if right, that moves back into my buy zone and we're still stalling here, I'm gonna lean more to, to the bullish side on this one, right? Which will fall in line kind of with this 4. But can I have to wait? Like if you bought off this level, then you just sit in the trade, right? You just sit and let it all kind of play out. But we're just sideways right now. Market's trying to figure itself out on the Aussie NZD. All right. So that's where we are there. Moving on. I want to take a look at these pounds, right? We're continuing to see a correction, right? But we are back our stochastic, okay, is back in that buy zone, and we're just moving sideways, right? So we've got a pound that's been fairly strong, right? We've got an Aussie that's been fairly strong. So again, these are some that we're just keeping an eye on. We can come down to the 4 and we can see where we're just stalling. We're in our buy zone. Okay. Let's see what happens, right? We're going to the weekend with this probably, just moving sideways, looking for a play. Right. So that's pretty ugly price action there. Right. But we've been playing it, 80-20. Now we're in a buy zone. Can we get a move back long? Okay, so over the weekend, we'll check out the fundamentals, do a deeper dive on the fundamentals with each pair to see if we can kind of get a bias on whether or not that's going to start moving back long. We're going to get a continuation to the downside. Any questions on this pound Aussie? No.
No, sir.
All right. Appreciate it. Pound CAD. Hey, everything kind of just stalling. Let's look at the pound data. Pound top 133, strongest level since March 2022. Right, that's against the dollar. After the Bank of England left interest rates steady, 5% September. We know that in line with expectations. They said a gradual approach to removing policy restraint remains appropriate. Traders now parse about 42 basis points of cuts by the central bank by the end of the year, below 52 basis points before decision. Sterling annual inflation rate in the UK remained about 2.2% in August, in line with expectations, while services inflation climbed to 5.6% as predicted. Core inflation has also increased to 3.6%, exceeding forecasts. Still, both services inflation headline rate are below levels projected by the central bank in August. All right. So that's all around. I want to find out about more domestic GDP data. Can't have to look at that later. But we have been, for the most part, bullish, right? But hey, we've run through September. We've seen our stochastic right now run. We're back up into the sell zone. So some of these were kind of just in no man's land, right? As we look to close out the month, we were looking for the break to retest on this setup here, and we got that, right? So now we're just kind of moving sideways. Moving sideways as we look to close out the month, right? So let's see. We have one over here. All right. Nothing doing, just kind of just moving sideways. Right. So we took it out there. See if we can catch the next round. Right. So right there, moving sideways. Okay. So I expect it to continue bullish at some point. Nothing really clean there on the pound CAD. Moving, taking a look at this pound Swiss. Right. We broke out finally, right? Now we're moving kind of sideways, right? Closing out September. But here we are. Okay. Right. Waiting for price to pull back, right? I'm not buying from there. Right. Not gonna get short. Right. So I'll just hold off, right? Can we get a low price and look to buy from that point? What do we look like on the one? Right. Still running long, right? Still looking for that D extension, right? So again, looking for a low price, right? To catch a position long, right? That's an 80-20 there on the sub on the pound Swiss. So definitely looking to see if we can get a deeper correction, possibly, and then a continuation. But overall, long, we're kind of just moving sideways. Okay. Moving on to the pound yen. Again, there's that correction coming off the data. Okay, to the downside, we are way right overbought at 100%. Right, so hey, we're due for a correction. Right, how do we want to play it? Right, this is the move here. We talked about this. Right, we're kind of trying to figure it out. Was it going to hold? We know that it blew right through that level. Okay, and right after that deep retracement, this should be. Let me see if it'll reset itself. So we got an ABCD move. Okay. Right. And so you can see how we shot through the level. So we should have a new fib set up either here or here. Right. Like so, something like that. That sets up on a correction. You got stuck on the dollar Mexican peso. Oh wow. Lowered its benchmark to 25 attempted. Oh wow. It is end of the month, right? Always have to be right aware of that. See if it'll rally. It probably will. It'll probably rally for you. But here we are, right? So these yen crosses are kind of looking the same across the board, right? Where we've got that huge bearish candle from the data, and now so these could be going into next week. These could be major plays, right? Because if this is just a temporary reaction from the data that came out from Japan, if these supports holds and we get back long, those could be huge plays for the yens across the board, right? And right now the risk on these, right, because of how deep it's dropped, within our AB boundary, okay, if it recovers from here, I mean, we've got our stop below the A. The risk to reward on these can be huge if we get the continuation. Okay. So you don't have to take a shot on all of them, right? You take a shot on one if you think we may get back long going into next week, and see how it plays out. But pretty much across the board, I'm gonna. I haven't looked at all of them. My guess that they're pretty much all looking the same, right? Which could be good. So we'll see after the correction, right? If these other currencies get back long against the yen. Any questions on the pound yen? No? All right. Pound NZD. Man, a lot of these pound pairs, right? This is just, yeah, that's not, that price action isn't too attractive, right? So we kind of rolled over here. Look at this one. So look at this. I'm just gonna take this out. Right? So we're moving down right now. I don't even know what to do. This is crazy. Okay. So we're kind of just bouncing. We broke trend line, right? We broke out, which is cool. Now we're just moving sideways. Just flat. Yeah. Let's see what we look like from the fib on the 4. And not a whole lot though. Right? Just right? I'm not buying into the downside. I don't like that. I like it. See if we get a move back to the upside. So this is this is just moving sideways. Right? There's nothing for me on that one. Right? I'm not looking to trade that one at all. Any questions on this pair? Man, it's just moving straight across the middle of the screen.
Yeah, I'm stuck in this. I still got a good position though. I'm at 210412. So I did lose some, but I got my stop in place.
Okay. Okay. You're long on it?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just man. That's just when you see it moving when you see it moving like this, we need it. It'll eventually make a decision and break out. But right now we're not getting anything, right? And it's easy to see from the higher time frame. Right? That's not doing much. So you're just gonna let that one be. Yep, you got your stop in place. Just let it play out. Right? Let it play out. So that's the pound NZD, man. That's it's a terrible price action there. Pound dollar, right? Weak dollar, we've been moving long. But again, you look at the last few days, right? How it just bouncing around, right? That's a range there. Okay, just that's man, that's pretty much identical. Look at that. The bearish and that bullish candle. And so the market needs to make some decisions. It's been running for quite some time, 4 hour. Right? Just in a weird spot. Weird spot right now. We're up around in 118, 127 zone. We just we kind of just stalling. Let's see what happens, right? If we get the data today to serve as a catalyst, right? The PCE data, which you can. It's going to push the market one way or the other. So, man, nothing really doing on these pounds. Nothing at all. Let's look at this euro yen to see we've got the same type of look, the price action. Yep. So here's another one after the correction. Identical moves, right? So when we're looking at like across a lot of the assets, right? It doesn't look like too much is out there, right? Closing out the month, but getting ready to go into the next month. This could be these yen crosses could be nice. They could play out nice. Like I said, you don't have to trade all of them, but they are all sitting right in a prime position. They're trying to recover. So we'll see. We've been here before where it has paid off. So man, maybe pick your strongest currency, right, to go against it and see what happens. Oh, you were gonna sell at 80.20, and then man, the bottom fell out of it. It's all right. It's all right. That's the way it goes sometimes. We're on it, right? Maybe we can catch it back to the upside. Sometimes it's hard to gauge when you get a fundamental event that really moves it technically, right, in a particular direction because our daily, right, across the board on all of these yen crosses, our daily stochastic, right, is in the sell zone, right? We're overbought. But when you get that sudden move like right, your stochastic, right, being a bit of a lagging indicator, right, is not gonna move down as fast as we see the price action do. Okay, so these can always be tricky. So let's see what happens, right? Is this gonna be a support? We're gonna make a run. I am definitely keeping an eye on these yen crosses. Ryan, what do you think? I mean, we've seen it play out before, where the market makes a full recovery and just runs for a long time against the yen.
Yeah, uh, I'm with you on looking for buying opportunities, especially with the sentiment right now still being December rate increase.
Uh-huh.
So that means October they hold, November they hold. Um, and them not getting any political pressure from anybody,
Right.
I'm looking for those buying opportunities too, man. I think this is just a correction, like that pound yen. It broke a key level of resistance. I think it's just coming back to retest that zone.
Okay.
And similar with the euro. So and then New Zealand yen too. So I think these are just pullbacks. I think that 1 hour we it potential for it to break that a boundary on the 1 hour,
Right.
but I don't know if it goes a ton deeper. And then looking for reversal. So
Yeah.
I'm with you on that upward sentiment there.
Yeah.
And that kind
Well,
of
let's.
lines up with the Nikkei too, running back to the upside.
Yes. Yes. So that as we're at the end of the month, right? That's a major trade idea, right? After these corrections, right? So let's look at the CAD yen. See, this one took it out right here, right on the one, right? That one pulled back, right? But that's against the CAD, right? That's against the CAD, and then but here we are on the four, right? So out of all the ones I would trade to the upside, this would be last on the list, right? Right now with the Canadian dollar, but you can see that that's a beautiful 80-20. And things move fast, right? So sometimes you see it after the fact. But it hit that zone, right? Up against daily resistance, and then it just collapsed. Right. So that would have been a good one. But hey, that's quick. Right. Uh
Penny, what time was this candle?
let me see. One. What time was the hold on, what time was that data? That was at 7:30.
I think it was a mix between the data and I think it was more the election results that caused
That
that
caused
push there.
that move. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking too, because the data came in forecast. Right. That's why I wanted to look back at this, like, hold on, they ain't lining up. So yeah, more the election results, right? More the elect so that hey, definitely, definitely look to maybe trade these to the upside. Because that's definitely what it's from, Ryan. That's definitely where
yeah,
it's from.
and in the market, they took well to him ultimately supporting the BOJ. So
Yeah,
long term, we know we're gonna get yen strength, right? Um, but just as just as they said in their statement, they're gonna take their time,
yep.
you know. And we know we know from history what that means for Japan and them taking the time. So
Hmm.
and then just add on top of that, they're not going to get that political pressure to make any immediate changes or to even oppose the changes altogether. So, with the government being in support of that decision, I think until they make those moves, we'll see that continued upside.
Yeah, I think so too. I think this is gonna rally. Yeah, taking the time. It could be 2 years. Uh, so let's take a look at the Swiss yen. Yeah, look at that, right? So against your weaker currencies, look what it did, right? Whereas against like the pound, you guys see how it held up. And this ran into a daily level, so that'll probably start to recover. But you can see how against your weaker currencies, the CAD, the Swissy, right? You see how it took the A out on one, whereas on your pound pairs, right, your euro it is still sitting within that AB boundary. I mean, it's already just off this little move here, right? That's 100 pips almost. That's 100 pips. So that's already been a good play back to the upside. All right, so there's your 80-20. And now we broke it down. So that's what shit is. That's interesting. So that's the Swiss yen. What other yen did I not cover? I think I covered everything else. Did I do the I did the euro yen, right? No, I believe I did. Yeah, look at that. These might be in. See what happens. See what happens. That's all type of crazy. All right, so that move happened too fast. It's the dollar yen, 1 hour. All right. So you got your pound yen, euro yen, dollar yen. Go back, take a look at this Aussie yen. This one didn't even move this deep in the zone. Okay. And I wish that would have been a little lower. Maybe look to make it on this pound to the upside. We shall see, right? So, hey, to sum up this morning, right? A lot of choppiness going on across the markets, but there's opportunity with these yen crosses, right? Looks like they're finding support. Maybe we get a rally. We'll see, right? We looked at the Nikkei, right? Similar, right? With the correction to the downside. We know Nikkei has been long, seeing massive gains, right? Massive rallies. Correction, right? Looks like because of the election results. And let's see what happens. See if the markets can rally to the upside against these against the yen. So we shall see. That's all I have this morning. Anybody have any other pairs they want to take a look at before we wrap things up? No?
Nvidia,
Yep. What'd you say?
Nvidia.
Nvidia. Take a look at Nvidia. Take a look at gold. So let me look at tech stocks. Yeah. Continuing this rally, right? Here's the new low that is set in. This is on the daily. I know I'm holding long still. I'm gonna keep holding it too. Right there. So running long. That's the daily, right? And the recovery. So moving along pretty good. Look like we came up just shy of that 786. Right? So what's that? That D extension target there, 152. Right? I know some people call it as high as 165, right, on NVIDIA, right? But we know we've got a daily fib at 152.97. We could come down and bring it down to a 4-hour chart. There we go. So definitely looking bullish, Joy. At 150 is a 4-hour extension. So looking long, right? So I'm going to continue to hold, look for opportunities to add, right, to the NVIDIA play to the upside. So that's that. And then here we go. Take a look at gold. All right, just flat. So holding up right now. Okay. Now this is going to be key because it's just running this out. Okay. New AB boundary, right? That was at 2600 level. We've overrun it. Let's see what happens, Tyrone, with this PCE data coming out for the United States to see what type of reaction. Right. But right now, right? We're right here in this area, right? It's a little choppy with the wicks and everything. We're kind of right here in this zone, right? So do we accelerate, create a higher low right there and move higher, or are we gonna see a deeper correction? Let's see what happens with the data that comes out at 8:30, the PCE data for the United States to see if that can help us with this gold play. All right, I'm out of it. I'm out of it right now. You know, uh, 2600 was the level that I was looking at. So we'll see. See what happens on that. Any questions on that gold play?
No questions. No questions.
All right, all right. Okay, so that is all I have this morning. Look at gold, it's DCHF, video. So let's see what happens at 8:30, right? Just know, right, on a Friday, not too much, but that core PCE is a big report. And the GDP, right? We know from our training, right? GDP data is always important for a country and the central bank. So two very important reports today on a Friday. So let's see what happens if that could get the market moving for us. Oh, yep. Go and check Bitcoin. Okay. Let's look at that. See where we are. Long, right? Daily looks good, right? Overbought, but we know, right, how that can stay up at that level for a while. So we're seeing a rally, right? We're at a major high, but looking at this ABCD wave on the 4, right? We got a 382 pullback. So this key is this level here, right? Coming from the top down. Right? 66,322. Can we get through that level and continue to head to the D extension? Or will we see a correction? Right? Do we see a deeper correction? So overall, I'm bullish, right? In regards to a buy, like a adding to a position or to take an initial position, uh, kind of looking like we need to wait right now. Okay. So long, looking for opportunities to get in off of pullback, right? So I don't want to buy right now. You want a discount, right? So let's see. Yeah, there, right? So now my fibs are right on the 1, right? So we know we're in the 80-20 zone here now. We need some sort of correction if we're gonna look to buy that, right? We're in the 80-20 zone here. Here's that level. But right, I would see, can we, because here we have key level here, right? Where we double top. So if the way I would play it, if I was gonna look to try to short it to the downside on the short play, I would wait for it to break back below. What is this? I wanted to kind of trend that correction. I had to get back below 64 at this point, right? For it to move lower. But hey, no, right? This is pegged against the US dollar, and you got key data coming up in an hour, right? So overall bullish, right? But we kind of right now, kind of in no man's land with it. Okay, looking for opportunities. You can see we retested this level already. So go ahead.
Because this run through the weekend with less volume, think it'll trickle down.
Maybe end of the month. End of the month can always be tricky. All the time I'm laying low for new trade setups, with the exception of this pound. Like I'm looking at that pound yen real tough right now. Like that that might be a play for me, but you know, it's September 27th, it's end of the month, like you say, low volume, maybe going into the weekend. It may trickle down, Joy, to retest that. I mean, you got an evening start right there setting up right here. Right. So for like smaller plays, right? If you're looking for smaller plays, it may come back down to retest this 64,840 level again. All right. But for a major short, I would want to see it move down. Right. I would want to see it move down and hold. Right? But like you said, over the weekend, it may trickle down. It may move in a hurry to the downside, depending on what this data is like at 8:30. And how the market interprets the data. Right? Because we know again, right? It is the Federal Reserve's preferred gauge, right? When looking at inflation, right? Because it's excluding food and energy, right? Which could be volatile. And so that we'll see. We know that dollar has just been bouncing around in that small, tight range, testing that support. So we'll see what happens there. So that's all I have on Bitcoin. Overall, we've been bullish, but the question is, do we look to correct now? Right. So that's that. All right, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. We'll be here right tomorrow, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Forex Weekly Ritual. Let's see what happens today at 8:30 with the PCE data. Have a good day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Benny.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I said thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
All right.